Right, welcome to the channel everybody. This is Phil Beckwith, the professional painter and decorator. I'm doing the series of videos that you see a playlist in the corner. We do on the sofa, and every so often I bring in a special guest, and today's no exception. I've got my notes. I'm going to try and do a Russ off the talking tradesman. I'm trying to not talk over somebody. I've got some questions to ask my special guest, who I'm going to introduce in a moment, and my notes are all in front of me, so if you do see me looking down and reading the notes, it's because I've probably forgotten what I've got to say. But let's start off now. I'm here, I've got somebody in front of me, Ian Crampsie of, do you want to introduce yourself? Of
ATD Painting and Decorating.
ATD Painting and Decorating. I met Ian back end of last year at the Painting and Decorating show. We've conversed numerous times through Messenger and obviously phone. We still use a phone and pick up a phone and speak to each other. And I did say to Ian, could you come across to my house and we'll do a bit of an interview. Ian had got another agenda about having a kiss and a cuddle on the sofa. We've done that. We've gone and had a wash to faces. We've actually made sure we're not looking too red. But joking aside, I've taken Ian out for breakfast this morning. You might see some photos on his socials of us having a laugh when we've been out eating at really expensive place, Wetherspoons. But we had a really good time. But without further ado, Hugh Bonamaguru, Cuthbert Dibble and Grub, I'm just going to have a look at my notes here. I've got some questions that I've put together. There is also questions that somebody's asked me to ask Ian, and Ian has seen these questions, so I'm not coming in cold to frighten him. He will have already got a good idea of what he's going to be saying, but I think these questions cover a lot of things that you might want to know about Ian. Now, just quickly, ATD Painting and Decorating are over in Telford. Ian will give us a little bit more information about that, but if you don't know Ian, Ian is very much on social media. He's on the Facebook forums, and obviously he's got his own website stroke Facebook page as well. So enough talking from me. It's all going to go over to Ian. I'm just going to adjust the camera because Ian's making me look a little bit, yeah, like, hit me, David, hit me. And if anybody doesn't know about that, David Steele and David Owen off Spitting Image, it was, hit me, David, hit me. Ian's not old enough to know about Spitting Image back in the day, but those of you that are, yeah, you'll get the joke.
Spitting's a bad habit.
Hit me, David, hit me.
Spitting's a bad habit, yeah.
Right, so I've done the intro. I'm conscious I'm looking a bit fat because I've just had my breakfast.
Phil breakfast.
What we're going to be doing, the questions that I've got, we might just go on a little bit too long. I don't want to make this into like an hour, 2 hour video. So what I will do is halfway between the questions that I've got, we might just stop and we might start again, and I will split it into two lots of videos. We'll see how we go on. But I'm ready to ask Ian some questions, and let's get into the video straight away. Right, so I'm here. I've got my glasses on because I couldn't see the small font on my notes. And as I say, I've just introduced Ian, and the man, the myth, the legend, Ian Crampsie. Welcome to my humble abode. Thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
No problem whatsoever. This is long awaited. We did speak at the Painting and Decorating show and say that we were going to catch up in a couple of weeks.
Kiss and a cuddle.
And we had that kiss and a cuddle. We've not done it. It's actually, we're probably 7 months on from when we first...
Not just a fantastic decorator, but also a fantastic kisser and cuddler. So...
He didn't say that the other night when I'd had a garlic bread. Right, we're going to get into this video, the questions. We're going to go through the basics. We're going to go pick up on a few controversial, probably topics. We're not going to be upsetting too many people, I hope. But the first question that I've got down, my PA has written up for me, and it's the one we want to know is, how did you get into painting and decorating, and how did ATD start? Now, this is all over to you.
Right. I started from a very young age. My dad's a paint and decorator. So I've kind of followed on from his footsteps. It was like a family business. It was the only thing that really interested me. So I just kind of naturally followed on from there. I wasn't very good at school. So I used to kind of take as much school time off as I could, just to be around my dad, watch him work, because I was kind of in awe of it. And yeah.
I think when we're at school, we don't know what we want to do. I think there's an element of, if you know what there is out there, you would probably go and try it. I think schooling doesn't give us the opening to see other things we could do. And if you've got a family business there, that's all we know. I'm from a family business, you're from a family business. And I think we're looked upon as people that are naturally going to go into that business, whether it's right or wrong. And you've probably done the same as what I've done. We've gone through school and we've gone, what are we going to do? I don't know anything else. All I know is going to be painting and decorating.
Well, look, I wasn't very academic.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, this career choice is almost pigeonholed by my dad. He was like, don't worry about it, son. You've always got something to fall back on.
Yeah, a trade.
Obviously, my big brother's done the college, did all the kind of degrees, I was going to say then.
Yeah.
Did all the kind of qualifications for that. So it was kind of, when I finished school, I'll join him.
Yeah.
Didn't work out like that though. Ended up doing a carpentry apprenticeship.
Lovely.
Which wasn't an apprenticeship. Basically, I was just used to sweep up until they got fed up with me.
So how did the ATD start? Is that, I'll just move your mic in case.
So romantic. Oh, it's got soft hands. Oh, soft hands for a decorator.
You wouldn't think I'm in the building trade, would you? There you go. That might be better if you missed any of that out. If you didn't hear him, I think you've probably got the gist of it.
Yeah.
We went through school and started with his dad.
Yeah.
Right. But how did the ATD, is that your father's business then, the ADT?
No, my dad's business was...
ATD, sorry, not AD.
My
ADT.
dad's business was Robert Crampsie and Sons.
Right.
Paint, decorating, tiling. But obviously when I went off on my own, I kind of needed my own identity, because I'm a little bit of a stickler for the smaller bits of detail, which people might think, oh, that doesn't matter. I just kind of got labelled it, so it stuck.
So what does ATD stand for?
Attention to detail.
Who knew? Who knew? Are we ready for the next question?
Absolutely.
Is there anything else you want to pick up on that one?
No,
we're good.
No.
We're good. Right, what kind of jobs do you usually take on? Domestic, commercial, any favourites?
I do like doing commercial, because it usually means you get the sprayer out, and that's the bit I love, because I'm new to spraying. Obviously watched a few of your videos, followed on from
clearly,
that.
obviously, yeah.
There'll be a thumbnail somewhere.
Yeah, up in the top corner there'll be an airless spraying playlist. Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I wanted to learn a different sort of string to my bow.
Yeah.
Because I love the paint and decorating. I don't think I ever get bored of making people happy, and it makes me happy.
Yeah. And I take it you're painting and decorating side, because you say you haven't been to college, your brother's been to college. We spoke earlier when we've been out for breakfast, so we've covered a lot of things, so I've got a little bit of background on it. Your brother went to college, you didn't go to college, but your father taught you the basics, and like we all learn the basics and we progress from it. Your painting side you did it with your dad, and all wallpapering, your dad taught you as well. So probably the element that you've picked up on now is the spraying.
Yes.
Did your father do much spraying, or is this something you've actually ran with?
Completely alien to my dad.
Right.
He was like, I'm not doing that. Brush and roller.
Yeah. What made you want to go into the spraying side? I mean, is it the social media, a pressure off social media or anything to make you want to move on to the next level of painting and decorating, or is it just it suited you for the commercial side, for speed is of the essence?
It's a bit of everything really, because obviously with the spraying, the finish, as you'll know, is second to none. Yeah. So to me, I'm always trying to break the barrier and get a bit better, but it'll never be good enough. No matter where I get, it will never be good enough. But that's why, it's because I want to be kind of a little bit better and a little bit quicker. And I think with spraying, with the right sort of preparation and stuff, you can do.
Have you done spray courses?
I have.
Yeah.
I have.
Do you want to give a plug out to anybody you've done spray courses? Obviously, clearly,
Yep.
Phil Beckwith, the professional painter and decorator on YouTube, has been helping him, but
Yeah,
have you been anywhere else?
Q-Tech, Liam Burns. Shout out to Liam.
Yeah,
He's
nice guy.
Brilliant guy, always there. Helps me a lot.
Yeah.
I did a course with him when he was at the Paint Tech.
Yeah.
And I also done another course with him at Q-Tech.
Yeah.
And it was brilliant. Yeah. Really, really enjoyed it. And yeah.
And you've got Q-Tech equipment as well?
I have. I've got an IQ3 and I've got two 190s.
Yeah.
One with the hopper and one with the what's the feed?
Suction. Yeah. Siphon. Yeah.
I know what it means. I just
tipping my tongue. We've had a drink at Weatherspoons. We've overdosed on hot chocolate. Yeah. That's good. We'll move on to the next one. I think we're covering that one. So you mainly a bit of commercial, and you do the domestic as well, right?
Domestics is mainly what we do.
Yeah.
But commercial is what I love to do.
Yeah.
The big.
Would you say that is your favourite though, or?
I would.
Or do you like a bit of both?
I love a bit of both. I love a bit of both, but mainly commercial because you can obviously charge a little bit more.
That'll be a question later.
Can I charge more?
Yeah, charge. We'll come on. We don't want
Let me charge more, please.
We don't want to talk about that. Right, we're coming on to a bit of a nice one. This is we're going to be talking about. Ian is actually a brand ambassador for Arroworthy brushes. If you don't know about Arroworthy brushes, Ian's going to fill us in on that one. And I'm going to ask the big question, how come you've become a brand ambassador and I'm not? Go on.
Basically, I did a lot.
Yeah, how have you become a brand ambassador for Arroworthy?
I don't know. No, I did a lot of begging. You know, I sent a lot of presents to the Coleman brothers' houses.
Yeah.
You know, bought a couple of extra sets of ladders so I could climb up and knock the windows at night.
It's not true about you stalking.
It's not proven.
Yeah,
it's not proven.
Yeah, right. Anyway, so
they blocked my number.
On a serious point, how are you approached? What's involved with being an ambassador for somebody like Arroworthy?
Do you say how I was approached?
How was you approached?
I actually approached Chris and Matt because every single show, I love their brushes and rollers and how they feel. They just feel like I can't go wrong with them.
Yeah.
I can't go wrong with them. They're like, obviously they're designed for us decorators. I just feel that they just fit me and my style so well. So I was like, I'd love to work with you.
Yeah.
And then after months and months of stalking, they finally said, asked me if I'd like to become an ambassador, and I jumped at the chance.
No written exam or anything like that?
No, thank God.
No.
I'd have failed it.
No having to backhanders or anything like that?
Nope.
No.
And they're just lovely, lovely people.
Yeah.
It's like having an extended family now because they really do care. They're lovely, lovely blokes. If you have an issue, you pick up the phone. Yeah. They answer, and I
have to say, whenever I've seen them at trade shows, they've all been very supportive of the channel. I do, as many times, I do get samples from various different companies, and Arroworthy are one of the companies that do support the channel by saying, Phil, do you want to try this brush out, and do you want to try that one? There are other companies as well that you probably well know that I do try other people's brushes out, but Arroworthy are a company that is very much a supporter of the channel. So thank you very much, chaps.
Well, that's kind of how I become like a fan of their products, of their generosity, and they'll go to the show, they go, have you tried this brush before? Because they're so down to earth and lovely people. You go, yeah, I'll try that. You'll try it, and you're like, and then you'll end up buying loads more. Yeah,
well, that's it. It's like it's like you hook somebody in, and you pull them in, and then you've got a customer for life, or your suppliers for life as well, because you can get the quality from them, right?
Well, the other thing is as well, they always want to be on top of the next thing. So there's always things in the pipeline. Yeah. Because they're big on evolution. They want to move with the times, and they do very well. Yeah.
Is that the Mitsubishi Evolution?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we like that.
What litre is that?
I think they're all 2 litre, aren't they? Yeah.
4 wheels.
Yeah, with 4 wheels. Yeah. Ian, it's not making a big thing out of it, but it has come with a little bit of a bit of a treat for me. I can see the Coleman Brothers labels. There's no bias or anything. Do you know what? Arroworthy brushes are lovely, aren't they, Ian?
They are absolutely lovely.
What have you got to show me?
Ooh, step in my office.
Clearly not the van, because I've seen what's in his van.
Yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess. There we go, Phil.
Oh, thank you.
You don't want to mess your hair up, do you?
Oh, no, I'm going to take that bit out.
So, are we going to do a lucky dip?
I feel like Kev now. So, he don't like to mess his hair up, does he, Kev?
This is one of my favourites.
Oh, is that a yellow bristle?
Yep.
I like a Rembrandt, yeah. What I like about a Rembrandt brush is that happy, we like it stiff.
Yeah.
It's that happy medium between a classic and then, knock off any loose bristles.
That's a rare.
For cutting in, the yellow bristle Rembrandt, can you see that, is very much a precision brush. You won't want to be using this probably on your woodwork,
no.
But when it comes to emulsioning and you're needing to get a sharp line for cutting in, I could use either brush, whether it be the classic or this, but I do find that just gives you that little bit more control.
I find them better for me, for ceilings, like cutting into ceilings, because it is that little bit more stiffer. So sometimes, you know, the ceilings go a little bit wayward, you can kind of follow
a little bit more control.
Your own line.
Yeah.
Whereas,
I know they're in a really nice brush.
And this one I would use for me cutting in of the tops of skirting boards.
Yes.
They're a little bit softer.
Yeah.
And they lay off lovely as well for when you're doing your woodwork.
Yeah. So. And a 2-inch, I'll let people see that. The 2-inch, I know traditionally you'd probably be cutting in with 1 inch or 1.5 inches. Do you know, with the sharp crispness of that bristle, you can actually cut in skirting boards, no problem, with actually a 2-inch or even a 2.5 if you tops of your skirting boards.
Well, it's like you say with the points there.
You hold that there.
You can get into your corners and then you can drag it away. Beautiful. So it's a lot softer, this one is, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's more.
Yeah. Right, let's keep it going. Let's get that back.
So there we have got a Thin Ultra. So this one is for stains.
Right.
So this will be quite a lot softer.
Right.
A lot finer.
Is this for oil based or?
I would say oil based and water based.
So you can use the two.
Say oil based and water based. So it looks a longer bristle, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
Let's just get. Well, there's also that oval element with the.
Yes. Carrying your paint in your stock.
Yeah.
So definitely a longer bristle there, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you like you say, do you use your more tips than anything on stains, or?
Did you say tips?
Yeah.
Tips. Yeah, because you're laying off and everything like that. That does feel like a brush you could get paint loaded into it and it would release the right quantity out at the same time as you're bringing it across.
Plenty of it.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful brush. I must admit, I don't get to use as much of them as I like.
Yeah.
Well,
I think staining is you're either doing it or you're not.
Yeah.
You get the odd outside where you might have, I'll say something like a weather shield stain that might. Walnut's probably the favourite with everybody. Everybody has walnut, but you do need a brush that keeps together. And the Dulux side of the oil-based stains, this will still handle that, won't it?
Well, it varnishes as well, I think.
Yeah, and varnishes, yeah.
So you can use them probably.
That's nice.
For stuff like rock top.
Yes, like that. That's rock tops from
Smith and Roger.
Smith and Roger. They're another good supporter of the channel as well. So.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, very good. Yeah.
Here we go.
They've been very helpful to me over the years.
We got.
What's this one?
This is a Red Frost.
Is this a red bristle?
For all paints and stains. So that's kind of an all-rounder.
All-rounder. Do you know what sort of price these come in at for a budget? No, a budget's the wrong word to say, because if you're buying materials and stuff like this, money doesn't come into it. But is there like cheapest, or?
So I'd say the cheapest is the classic, although it's probably one of the
nicest, all-rounder.
Then I would probably say the Rembrandt. I think the Fin Ultra would be probably, it's out of those two, the most expensive one.
Because it's pinky bristle.
Beautiful, isn't it?
It's like a, you know, whether you can see that, it's like a pearlescent pink. I'm just going to take off any loose.
Yes, it's very nice.
Nice,
brush.
that is. Good.
So that's got a
so
lovely
this could
length.
be used for anything then?
Yes. Yes, so I must admit, I just love the...
Would
the
that be a
Rembrandt.
bit of an in-between of a Rembrandt and a...
Would you say the Fin Ultra?
Yeah,
Yeah,
or a classic?
you feel... So that's... Yeah, I'd say they're quite similar, aren't they?
Yeah.
There's a lot more bristles on this one. Am I wrong there?
Oh, it's probably not...
No,
Oh yeah, there's a little bit. There'd probably be, what do you call that? About quarter of an inch.
Yeah.
There's probably about another quarter of an inch on the length out on that brush. Yeah, there's probably not a lot in it.
They're all amazing. All
Yeah.
amazing though, whatever you use them for.
Anybody that's not into painting and decorating or a newbie to it, what you would find is traditionally oil-based paints were better applied with something that was a little bit shorter, water-based paint something a little bit longer, and that's where you would probably start with, and we'll go back in the day, you used to go to a Hamilton Perfection, that when you started with it in oil-based paints it was a bit of a nightmare, so you always tried to break it in using acrylic primer undercoats, wear it down, and then you'd put it into oil undercoats, and then by the time you'd probably had, I don't know, 6 to 8 weeks working with it,
You got a perfect brush.
you'd got a perfect brush for oil-based paints that you could say it's nicely moulded to your style of painting. And we laugh about that, about moulding to certain styles, but Brian, who works for us, who's been with my father since 1966, holds a brush and applies paint differently to how I do with a brush. And if I have to use one of his brushes when we used to use oil base, you could tell the way that he'd moulded his brush fitted his style of painting more so than mine. Sometimes it was quite nice to try it, to go, oh, it's got a nice side on it to cut in, but I'd think that's not how my brushes were wearing out if it was out my brush box. So yeah, it's longer bristle are ideal for water based, and that little bit shorter was probably more suitable for oil based. And that's why these brushes now, the synthetics, have got to be a bit of an all-rounder for anybody that wants to use the two.
They are,
Albeit we are looking at more water based now. That's lovely, Ian, thank you.
Oh, there's more.
There's more. There's more. I'm spoiled. I'm going to put them out of the way so we can...
Santa's bean. So we've got a blue vein.
Blue vein, you're out. Microfiber.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I use these for ceilings. They carry a lot of paint.
Yeah.
And also use them on walls.
That's 14mm nap. Would you class that as more of a longer...
I'd say just medium.
Medium.
I'd
So
say medium.
that's good for water-based paints on ceilings.
Because like you say, you don't want it to be too short pile, because obviously it's not going to hold any paint, as you know. That's perfect.
You're forever loading up, aren't you? That's another like DIY fail, that they get something as a short pile and then they're wondering why they're either getting a ceiling patchy, it's because the roller's not holding enough paint to cover the area that they're working on, and they spot on dry rolling.
Dry rolling. I love these. You can get these in all sorts of sizes, 18, 15, 12 inches, 15 inches.
Yeah.
And like you say, I use a minimum of 12 on the ceiling.
Yeah.
But I use the classics when after I've sprayed walls, I use a classic just to give these something to be able to touch up.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was, but...
Bit of wrist action there. Where do you sit? So this is not on the questions.
Yeah.
Where do you're sitting there, yeah. Where do you sit when you're seeing people, they're wetting in the rollers, they're putting tapes around them? I'll jump in straight away. I think if you've got a new roller, you'd probably be washing it out or wrap tape around it to get any fluff, lint off it or anything like that. But once I've got an active roller that's probably been on the van, I don't seem to think there's any point in washing that roller out again or wetting it in. If you're putting it into wet paint, correct me what you do, because what I do is I load that roller up so it soaks in with the moisture of that wet emulsion and wet paint. That softens it back up. That is good to go when I come to roller. So by the time I've cut a ceiling in, that's soaked up the paint nicely. I don't want to have moisture still in a roller that could ooze out as I'm doing a ceiling. And I say that because I've had it happen to me.
What I usually do...
What do you do?
What I would do with these is obviously make sure that all the bits are off it, use your tape, and then stick it under a tap, just give it a quick kind of wipe, and then spin it out slightly so that there's still moisture in it to keep it primed.
Yeah.
And then prime it in your paint when you're ready to go. Does
that help with the pickup of the paint then, do you think?
I would say so, because it kind of sucks in into the moisture.
Yeah.
For me, that's how it feels.
More so than the actual moisture of the paint sucking into the roller?
Probably. Reason being is because the paint's thicker. Obviously, wet on wet. To me, kind of, it's like it attracts, doesn't it? But am I wrong there?
I don't know. It sounds good.
It sounds good. Yeah.
I'm going to put it away before we get on.
And no more questions, please.
Wet on wet. Have we got another question? Yes, we have.
And there we have.
Oh,
here we go.
Very nice.
A mini roller kit system.
Nice, we like mini rollers.
Yeah.
I'm not a big person for going around mini rollering tops after I've cut in, but there are certain exceptions. Paint finish, paint colour that might need that more so than another.
Picture framing and stuff like that.
Picture framing.
These are
very handy.
Absolutely brilliant to have the match between the two.
Yes.
Because obviously, if you've got, say, a radiator to get behind, or maybe a small little piece down the side of a door frame or whatever, you can still maintain the same finish.
Yeah.
Which is brilliant for me.
Yeah. What snaps that one?
9/16.
That's a 14. That's a 14 mil length. This one's a little bit shorter. On a.
Is it on there?
Yeah.
Because it says it. Oh,
so
yeah,
that will match that one. This one's a little bit shorter at a 9.63 millimetre, so just under 10 mil.
The classic I find is better for your woodwork.
Yeah.
Your trim.
Yeah.
It's an American word, that, isn't it?
Trim's found on a car. Trim. Yeah.
Trim. He's going to hit me in a minute.
That's how my wife used to look.
Yeah.
Trim.
You need to get that in. You need to get that in later. I'm taking a picture of that.
That's good. Lovely. Thank you.
There's just for the standard.
Thank you.
Mini roller.
Yeah.
And then.
Nobody's buying my affection, but I do like freebies. Thank you. And this is my nice filling knife set.
Yeah, these are awesome.
If you've not come across these, I'm trying to think of the guy's name. We met him, didn't we, last year at the P&D show. He's from America. Tip of my tongue, and I've got his business card just on my wall in the other room.
This is really bad of me, isn't it? I should know him. I know his face.
I know, well, he's a lovely guy. He's invented these. They're a lovely stainless steel, I'll angle it for the sun, stainless steel blade and matching handle. Precision. That's what we call it, precision made.
I think just the perfect amount of flex in them.
Yeah.
They're also single piece.
Yes.
So you've got no handles that will drop off.
No, that's right.
Always, a fantastic company, and they are up and coming.
Yeah.
Up and coming. Thanks to the Coleman brothers bringing them in and
importing.
Yeah, again.
And what's good with them being a solid piece, if you need to just bang anything into the wall, if you've got a raw plug that's a little bit proud, you can actually use the ends to knock back. And that's the difference between using a professional tool.
Yeah.
So there's another joke coming in there. A professional tool compared to a DIY's amateur's tool that might be a plastic end that you've not got that hammer facility.
Best of all, yeah.
And then there's my sticker. Thank you very much. That will go onto my laptop when I'm editing videos. Thank you very much, Ian.
Fist print, 14,558 stickers.
You've got plenty because you had little.
Yeah. I wish it was.
Blow away in the wind.
Yeah.
You see that?
I thought they were bigger.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought they were
That's
bigger.
what she said to me.
I was going to put it on my van.
Yeah. I don't know whether we had a little bit of a break there with the camera. Oh. So if that is a break on the camera, you're probably coming back into this talky into the second part. If not, it depends how we edit it. But we've just been speaking about ambassadorship. We've also just had a few freebies shown to me. If you watched the last video or following on from this from Arroworthy and Allway. Now, the other thing I want to pick up on, because Ian just isn't an Arroworthy ambassador. You are also, shall we say, an ambassador stroke moderator stroke, what do you want to call yourself for the Trade Decorator Forum?
A reviewer.
A reviewer?
Yeah.
Right, so do you want to tell us about that? Do you want to give Trade Decorator a forum as well? This is a Facebook page for people in the trade decorating. If you're interested, you can actually subscribe stroke join.
Yeah.
It's run by Paula McIntosh, which is a lovely lady. She's very much for the painting and decorating industry, and you are one of her men.
Yes, she's
Tell us all about it.
Paula's been like a mentor for me and kind of helping me to evolve in my reviews.
Yeah.
As you can see, you know, being this good looking is not easy to deal with.
I know, yeah. I was going to say face for radio, but clearly we're not. Yeah.
But it's, you know, being comfortable in front of a camera is not always something natural, is it? So
no, you can do it or you're not. It's not everybody's cup of tea. But also, I would say, because you are in the trade, the reviewer side of things, I review and I do an impartial review, but also somebody in the trade like yourself is good to review because you are hands-on on a job, trying something out to really tell other people what it's actually like, and not just doing in I don't want to say a sterile environment, but in a controlled environment. Probably not always the best way of
probably
reviewing
not
something.
as ruthless as you are when it comes to reviews.
Is this why I'm not an ambassador for anybody? Because I'm a bit too cutting?
No. No,
There'll be some clever editing on that. And on that note, I'm going to move on.
Yeah, I love doing reviews for her. She's awesome. You know, you get some really interesting reviews.
Yeah.
Like the Purdy box. That was a good review.
Yeah.
Get a free Purdy box.
How much are the Purdy boxes?
About 200 quid.
That's what's taking all your room on your van up.
Great bit of kit.
Yeah.
And then, like, I've got one to do for Flex. So they've got some of the kit there to try out. So I'm looking forward to doing that one.
Yeah.
The Syrup blades were a good one. Very, very good one. I haven't had to really be very negative at all towards any products because they've all been quite good.
Yeah.
You know.
I think, and I'll just probably help in on that.
Yeah.
I review stuff and everybody says, oh, you're always saying they were good. Do you know what? There's a lot of good products out there, and it's just personal opinion on whether you want one or another. They're all really good. There's lots of good paints out there. There's lots of good tools out there. It's personal preference whether you go for A or B or C. Yeah. So sometimes you can't, there's very few times I do a negative review, and probably you'll be exactly the same. There's very few times that you'll need to give negative comment back because stuff goes through training, it goes through testing and stuff, and hopefully when it comes to grassroots of us trying it, the negative points have been picked up on and addressed before it actually gets rolled out. There's very few times that, and I don't want to say it because I've mentioned too many times, there's certain paint companies that I do question who's reviewed it before it has actually been rolled out. But other than that, there's a lot of paints out there and lots of products that are really good. That
some people work better with different products, as you said.
That's it.
Like, you know, some people might like how a paint lays off, and one person might not like it. You know, we all work in different systems and different ways, and they don't bring tools out to make the decorating game worse, do they?
No.
They're always looking. There's always someone like me and you that's involved that wants to make something that little bit more easier.
Yeah. But how did you get involved with the Trade Decorating Forum? You obviously been on the forum like I am. Were you approached by Paula?
I met Paula.
You didn't stalk her as well, did you?
Can't confirm that, or deny. But no, we met at the Trade Decorator show, and I got talking to her. And just overwhelmed how lovely the family are. Yeah. And how sort of comfortable the feel was in the actual trade show when I was there. And I just had to kind of congratulate her on how well everything was run. Yeah. And I found that I met a lot of good people from that show. Yeah. And basically got talking to her through that.
I'm going to stop you there. What is this trade show you are talking about, Ian?
I wondered.
We have slipped into that without actually mentioning it. Right, please give a plug to Paula's trade show.
So it's the Trade Decorator Live, and it's on the 18th, 19th of June, and it's in Bolton.
And this is 2025.
Yep.
They had one last year for 2024, round about the same date. So depending on when you're watching this video, if you're watching this pre-June 2025, there are free tickets available to go.
100%, yeah.
I think this, if I remember, I'll do a link to Paula's website if you want to enroll for that. If you're watching it after June 2025 and the show has already been, I'm sorry you're watching it late, but there will be one next year. Yeah.
Well put, yeah.
There will be, hopefully, as long as everything goes well.
Come and see us. It'd be lovely to meet everyone. Obviously, I want you to come along, but...
Yes,
he said
I have my reasons.
You'll have to talk to my PA.
Yeah, I'm a PA, and I've got... I might be in Barbados again, I don't know. I might be filming in Barbados. I think we're covering on that. We're only on question number 3. Right, we might be a 2-hour video filming. Right, let's go to number 4. Be honest. Does it pay well being an ambassador for these companies like Arroworthy? Are you being paid by Paula on Trade Decorator Forum? So does it pay well? Are you getting rich, or is it just free brushes?
I'm not being paid by anyone.
Yeah.
I don't get paid by anyone. I'm in it mainly, obviously, just to kind of be a part of something, the bigger picture, you know, like the evolution of the brushes and all that sort of bit. And it is lovely to get free things. So that's kind of how it works. Every month they'll send you a lovely box of goodies.
And it's stuff probably you won't try normally because you'd be set with what you've already got on the van in your workshop. Whereas being this brand ambassador, you're able to experiment and try stuff that you might have seen in a shop and go, do I need that?
The other thing is they'll send us. There's a few. There are quite a few. I think there's about 12 or 13 ambassadors, but they will send us all maybe a prototype, and they'll say, look, put that through its paces and let us know. So, and then you would give them the confidential feedback then, and then they could either tweak it or, you know, bits and bobs like that. So it's nice to be a part of that, really. You know, I
think that brush you were talking about over breakfast is going to be a winner. We are all looking for a 4-inch emulsion brush.
Yeah.
And nobody's picking up on this. We are still needing a decent 4-inch emulsion brush.
And it's like you put it on your shoes and then you paint with your legs like that. And that's how it works.
This is where we're going to get into the yoga poses. So, just clear up, you're not paid by anybody. No, you do get the free brushes to try out, but you are an impartial person to actually give feedback on that product.
Yes.
To say yes or no. And particularly when you're trying a new brush out, you can say this isn't going to work or it is going to work before it goes rolled out to the masses.
I have worked with other companies that have bought out brushes and stuff that will not listen to feedback.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't work. So that's why I love being a part of Arroworthy. A couple of calls and they're at the top. They can speak to the main man of the company. Coleman Brothers can give back the feedback then, and then we can work from there.
Oh, so I've got international viewers. There's a couple in Australia. I think there's three in America. I know I think there's about another 3 in New Zealand. Are Arroworthy brushes a UK-based British manufacturer stroke company, or are they?
They're American.
They're wider.
It's American.
Can people get this elsewhere?
Yes, they can. I believe it's American. The company is.
Yeah.
But then you can get them in Ireland now.
Yeah.
Obviously, where else can you get them? I think you can get them worldwide.
Yeah.
I think you can get them worldwide.
So Coleman Brothers are really the importers and the sole distributor for the UK. Is it UK and 100%. Ireland?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's that.
UK and Ireland, yes.
So if in doubt, please Google Arroworthy and you might get them in the country that you're watching this video in now. That's brilliant. Right. I think we've covered that. So we haven't got a Ferrari on the drive.
No.
Or a Porsche. Right, question number 5. Right, what decorating trends are you seeing at the moment? Bold colours, feature walls. I'm going to say wallpapering's back in. And what about polished plaster and stuff like that? What are you seeing? What are you being asked for? where do you see you going with anything like that?
Panelling, a lot of panelling at the minute. Panelling with like a feature paper above it, with a sprayed finish, to kind of try and make it all look uniform.
Yeah.
I'd say that's pretty much a lot of what I'm being asked to do at the minute.
Yeah.
That, and I can't do Venetian plastering, unless you want to.
Can't be that difficult. Can't be that difficult. Anybody?
Unless you want to get in contact with Phil.
Yeah. Rusty walls we're fine with. You know, if you can do a rusty wall, I don't think I'm going to have any problem with the Venetian plaster. But joking aside, that is something that I want to. I've got people that can supply me that to try it out. My limitations, and probably a bit like you, is when and where can we actually do it? And I've gone through all my house at the moment, and without redoing a room after 6 months, I've not got the facility to actually be doing it. But it is something that I would like to try. It's not something we get asked for a lot. It's a bit probably customers. Depends where you're marketing.
I'll be honest, I don't think I've ever been asked.
No.
I don't think I've ever been asked for that.
No.
But if I had it, I would definitely.
You could do it to your own house.
Yeah,
and see what
I'd
it's
probably
like.
upsell it to as many people as I can, really, just as an excuse to practice.
Yeah, can't be too bad. Right, I think we've covered that. Bold colours. What do you think? Bold colours. I think people are going a little bit more for something a bit different on colour drenching.
This is nice. I'd have this.
Here?
Yeah. We're cutting in spot on, by the way.
If you want to know about the room that we're sitting in now, again, please look in the top corner. It's be on the right-hand side of your screen, which will probably be above Ian's head. We've got a playlist for actually doing this adult room makeover.
Stunning.
So we've got gold, well, it's not gold leaf, it's copper leaf, and we've got a colour-drenched wall and woodwork all in the Lick Pro paint, which another very good paint manufacturer brand as well.
It looks absolutely quality in here.
Thank you. Quality and quantity, and that's all in between. Right, let's move on quickly. Number 6. What tools or products do you wear? Hopefully you do wear something.
I try not to.
I think we're going to know some of the question on this one. My PA's obviously not looked at the previous ones. Right. Oh, no, I've not read the full question. Start that again. Right. What tools or products do you swear by aside from Arroworthy?
What do I swear by?
What overalls do you wear?
Oh, I like me DAPs. I've got a pair of DAPs. It's really comfortable.
Where did you buy those from?
I got them from Top Deck.
Right, yeah.
Top Deck.
Top Deck. That used to be a drink in the 80s. Top Deck. Before your time. It's like a very weak shandy. That's why I call my weak shandies Top Decks.
Brian Green from Top Deck, he sends me them out. But they're so comfortable. Yeah. Would you ever try a pair?
I've got a thing about overalls.
You like traditional?
No, because I wear trousers. I've not worn a bib and brace since early 90s when I was at college, because very restrictive, falling off the shoulders. I do like it because obviously I've branded t-shirts. I do like an overall to go over the trousers that I'm wearing, so they've got to be a size 38, if anybody's listening. Size 38 waist, that goes over my 34-inch waist trousers. I know, you'd be surprised by looking at me, you wouldn't think I'm only a 34. But a 38 waist trouser goes over the trousers that I've... Oh, sorry, the phone's ringing. If you hear that, come a PA, get the phone, please.
There we go.
Yeah, well done. Brilliant. I wear overalls as an overall, so they go over my trousers that I'm wearing for work, and then the overalls go on. My overalls get put on when I get to the job.
Yep.
They get taken off when I finish the job.
So you're in clean clothes.
I do not get in my van in a pair of overalls unless I am quickly nipping to the van to nip to the somewhere to come back. Yep. But I do not drive around in overalls. I do not walk into a trade shop, any shop, still wearing overalls, because I think it's a little bit disrespectful for what I could have on my overalls, that I'm bringing in contamination of paint, dust or anything. I like to keep clean. I like the van keeping clean. So going back to overalls, I have got a bit of a stipulation, and this is where I have spoke to sites before, I've spoke to Snickers before, that they seem to do, I will say like a joiner's, what do they call, a multi-skilled trouser, it's got loads of pockets on it,
Yeah.
but it's not geared up for the decorator. And when I've explained this to trouser manufacturers for the trade, you see the Snickers, you see the Duff, is it Duffer? Oh, I can't think of the other brand. Sight, they are not geared up for people that have got a pair of shears on the leg.
Yeah.
They've got too many pockets and not pockets that are suitable for the tools that a decorator are using. I don't need to have a racking system around my waist to put a load of screwdrivers in because I'm not an electrician. I need a traditional style overall, very much like what Shield used to be, that are no really longer with us, that had decent pockets to put your bits in that you needed, but then there was still the length of pocket on the side to put a pair of shears in, and that's where some of these manufacturers are missing out. All they're doing is producing a black, a blue, a tan and a white, but they're all the same style. They're not geared up specifically for the decorator
Or for the different trades that might want
the
them.
different trades. Yeah,
Going back to the
brace.
the overalls, bin braces, I quite like them.
Yeah,
Because when you're papering, you can put your rag in there and whatever.
yeah,
And then you
hanging brush.
Yeah, hanging brush or board.
Yeah, yeah. You squeegee.
You squeegee.
Squeegee.
Yeah. So I use them for that.
Yeah.
And obviously a Stanley knife in there.
Yeah.
And my dad's tip, a couple of Stanley knives just in case.
In case anybody comes to attack you.
Yeah. Typical daddy.
We'll come on to something else in a minute. Right, so anything other than Arroworthy, you've got your Mercury stuff and your spray equipment, but generally I'll say, what about paints? Are you across the board open to try different paint brands?
Yes.
Or do you stick with the Pacific?
I've got a handful of paints I like. Decorator,
Yeah.
WRX, and what else do I like? I like Lick as well. I do like Lick. There's loads, isn't there, on the spot?
Well, I think...
Johnson's.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of paint manufacturers out there, and somebody said to me recently, since COVID, there's been about another 7 paint manufacturers come to the market, which I'll say, it flattens your hair like that, which is, I'm not saying diluted the market, but it gives us options. So your paint manufacturers of old, your Crown, your Johnsons, your Dulux, are all, they've now got competition.
They are kind of, there's a lot of really good paints out there, isn't there? Like fantastic paints. Yeah. And even like, this might be controversial, even B&Q's own brand. Yeah. The Good Home. And what was the other one they do?
Take your word for it.
What's the other one they do?
Farrow Ball.
No, Farrow Ball.
Valspar.
Yeah, it's actually quite good stuff. The tough and durable.
That's about the only one that I've found like opacity on that was really
I thought Phil was going to jump up and turn off the camera.
No. To be fair, the opacity on that was really good when I tried it.
Solid as well when it goes off. Yeah. Really solid, but
it felt to me a little bit of a dryish, a bit of a gritty feel, but actually as a durable paint, it was fine.
Less sheen level than Johnson's, I'd say. Yeah. I'd say Johnson's durable.
Yeah. On that note, moving on quickly. Number 7, right. Most memorable or toughest decorating job you've ever done? I don't want to hear about the ones that you don't get paid for. Yeah. Because that's always going to be a tough one. But what have you done that you've enjoyed that's been challenging? Shall we use the word challenge?
Every job's challenging, isn't it?
Yeah.
Getting out of bed in the morning, it's hard, isn't it?
But it's amazing on a Saturday.
Especially for 70 quid a day.
That's another question. But particularly on a Saturday, Monday to Friday, you don't feel like getting up. Yeah. Saturday,
you fly up.
Yeah, like 6 o'clock and you're pinging on. You're like, oh, I've got to get up. No lying. I've recently done a media wall which we sprayed. Yeah. And I was over the moon with that. I borrowed a bit of equipment from a friend of mine. Sharon. Oh, we love Sharon.
Sharon, love her.
Sharon, yeah.
Awesome. And
Yeah.
she let me.
She's my decorator crush.
Mine too.
Yeah, everybody's decorator. She doesn't need to decorate. She'd just be everybody's decorator crush.
Fantastic decorator.
She's really nice. If you want to know about Sharon, there's above Ian's head. There's an interview with Sharon. Yeah. I did an interview with Sharon at the Painting and Decorating show.
I need to see that. Then.
Yeah, it's nice. It's good. It tells me a bit about her. She's really nice.
Yeah, she lent me a lot of advice as well as the tools. She even met me halfway in Coventry because I'm in Telford, and she's kind of more Oxford way.
It's a bit posh area of the country.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a posh area of the country.
She met me halfway and then showed me how to erect it. The PSDR system, that is.
Let me just go back to my original. We've got to keep it. It says on here, it says, well, Ian, the sofa's here. Let's keep it PG. You're starting. We might be moving on to a 15 if you carry on like this.
I have seen many films start from a sofa, you know.
Definitely weren't 15s.
Yeah.
Well, oh, sorry.
No.
Carry on.
Yeah, so basically, I'd not sprayed a media unit before. We used Tickerilla, Aqua Evra.
Yeah,
Everall Aqua, and then also the Helmy primer. But I got a lot of advice from people like Liam and stuff like that, and that kind of gave me a little bit more confidence because I've not done the courses yet to kind of do it. It's not as easy as what people think that you can just go in and go bam, 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 bam.
What did you spray it with then? Did you go airless or HVLP?
Airless.
Right.
Which I just used I think I used a 210 tip, but then I was advised to use a 310.
Yeah.
And obviously that bigger fan just to make it a bit more easier.
And also you'll probably find that because you've got the concentration of paint over a 2-inch area.
Yeah.
Well, I say 2 inch, it's not 2 inch, it's a 4 inch. It's a 210. Yeah, if you don't know, the 2 number at the beginning is double it, and that gives you your fan pattern, and then your orifice size is the 0.0 whatevers for your orifice size. So the smaller the number, the smaller the hole, and then the first number, the smaller the number, well, you double it.
Yeah.
So if we're going for a 210, we've got a 4-inch spray pattern.
Yeah.
I think you'll probably be finding that your 4-inch spray pattern puts a lot of paint on, whereas the same amount of paint's coming out that orifice, but you're spreading it out over a 3, which is 6.
Less passes.
Yeah.
Less
6
passes,
inch as well.
And it sprayed up really nice. But I was very happy with the results.
Yeah.
Because obviously
well, we're going to say that's your challenge, isn't it? You're doing something that's...
It was a challenge.
Yeah, it was out your comfort zone, but you'll have no problem doing it next time.
Absolutely not. I'm doing it at the minute. I'm absolutely loving it.
Good. I'm going to move on to the next one. I think we've covered that. Right, God, I don't know. This is the one that we've spoke about, haven't we? How do you deal with clients who don't really know what they want?
Patience.
Yeah.
Lots of patience. Go in, do your prep work, give them a colour chart and say, look, for the love of God and all that's holy, choose a colour.
Yeah.
And just kind of, I would say, if you can't find a colour or something by this date, we're going to have to move on to something else and come back.
And be firm.
Yes.
Do you quite carefully steer them into what you'd probably think is the better way to go, and then let them think that they've come up with that decision?
I try not to.
Well, that's me then.
My advice from my dad is keep away from colours. Let the customers choose a colour, because as soon as you choose a colour, they don't like it. It's going to be
back on you.
Look what you've done. It was your idea, and then you've got no chance of being able to charge the extra days to paint it the colour they want. Then
but you could probably guide, or you recommend the paints that need to be done, because there's nothing worse than we've got the paint for you.
I hate that. It's nothing worse than using a standard retail paint and then it going on like milk. It makes you look silly. And you're just going over it and over it and over it.
And that's the difference between when we talk about milk paint, the opacity and coverage. When something is like milk paint, it's poor on opacity, but the coverage is fantastic because it covers a big area. It's just that it doesn't cover opacity what you want it to be.
So like your
covering over
where you've cut in is showing through what you've rolled. So then you have to roll it double the amount of times to get it as a solid.
Yeah. Poor opacity.
Yeah.
Question number 8. Question number 9. Those that are keeping track. This will be time stamped, so we'll be doing time stamps on question 1 to 12 and anything in between. So we're on, what advice would you give to someone starting out in the decorating trade now? From what you've learnt, how would you advise?
I would advise to, whatever job you do, just do it to the best of your ability. No matter how long it takes you, just make sure it's right. Because if you're not happy with it, the customer's certainly not going to be happy with it. So just keep going and get it done right.
Yeah.
Follow all the advice off the back of the tins, anything on the papers, just go by the manufacturer's instructions all the time.
I've got to be honest, I'm happy that Ian came out with that, because I didn't know whether he might come out with the joke about. The only advice I would give is make sure that your meth that you're drinking comes out the cold cabinet and not been warm on the van. Next question. Now that we're my hands moved. Now that you're finally on the sofa, was it everything that you hoped for?
Oh, more.
I've pre-read these questions that my PA's put together, and I obviously skim-read that one, and I think, quite a nice question that is. Now you're finally here on the sofa. Was it everything you hoped for? You're going to say that...
I'll never forget it.
You're going to say that the seats up at Wetherspoons were comfier.
Absolutely lovely. He fed me a sausage.
So are you all right? Right.
His name's Phil Breckworth. Breakfast.
Look, I had the small breakfast. He had the large breakfast. And we did have 2 hot chocolates.
Yeah.
Right. What do you think about social media? This is question number 11. What do you think about social media? Is it help to the trade or hurting the trade? What's it done for you personally? This question's come in because we've spoke about this earlier up at when we've been eating. I think there's an element that a lot of people are thinking that they need social media for exposure for their own gain. I'm sitting here with a T-shirt that is promoting a YouTube channel. That is my side hustle.
I've gone for I don't even know the...
Ramones?
I don't even know. It's either that or another painting decorating T-shirt.
It's a pop brand, I hope.
And I don't want to get...
They're a paintbrush manufacturer. I do think there's some people out there that are using their social media to think it might catapult them to something bigger and better. I am very much a person that thought I would get a Porsche out of social media, YouTube. I am nowhere near getting a Porsche, and there's a video again against over Ian's head. What I've earned from social media, there's no secret. I am an open book when it comes to actually what I'm getting from social media. I like doing what I'm doing. I am here to help, but there is an element that social media is... Hopefully, I am a good influence. An influencer, but there is also the not so nice side of it. Where do you sit with social media? Now I've done all the talking.
I think social media, spit my teeth out. Social media, it plays a big part in kind of, I would say, if you want to know how to do something, it's good for that. Like watching videos of Kev with different products, the Paint Warrior, and also like yourself, where you'll break it down and you'll show me what adhesives to use with certain papers, or it all helps. Social media has its place in the world of decorating and everything, of course, because when you want to know how to do something, there's people like you out there that kind of breaks it all down. So you can see the steps needed. I think as long as there's enough information in the videos that you're watching, there's too many videos at the minute of people just like cutting in and stuff like that. it's not harming the industry, but it's just, I think if you can be educational, not you personally, but you are, then it more than helps, doesn't it? Because it's like having an encyclopedia, that,
one of those as well.
Yeah, that you can go to and look and.
I think there's probably the side of social media for advertising.
Yeah.
That works for advertising for people.
Like different tools and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think advertising, and also for being, I mean, if you went back 10 years, it'd be, or 15, probably, let's go early, like 2000, so 25 years now.
Yeah.
You got the start of the internet really coming through, and web pages were the signboard for people for the advertising. And if you've got a website, we don't have a website, but I've got exposure elsewhere, but people use that to actually be seen, and I think that's a good side of it. But I think when we start moving now into, probably since COVID at 2020, and social media's taken a different platform with TikTok, probably Instagram, YouTube, it has changed. And as you've seen many times on telly and things like that, and in the news, for children, for little kids that are being exposed to it, is it good? Is it bad? I think in the decorating world also there is an element that it might be pushing people the wrong way.
Possibly.
And this is something that, if you do watch The Talking Tradesman, and I'll do a link to Russ's YouTube, he touched on, and I didn't want to go on to this about mental health issues and everything, but I think there is an element that people are probably being drawn in by having social media that is not making them in a good place, because they feel they need the social media exposure, not to feel good about themselves, but it's that old adage, if this video doesn't get likes, and I'm going to say, please, if you like it, give us a thumbs up, subscribe. To me, I'm older, I'm now I've just turned 51.
28.
No, a bit older than Ian. But do you know what? My mentality on this sort of thing isn't, I'm not hung up on about how many views I get or how many likes. It's nice to see it, but I'm not having a sleepless night over that video's not done well, because I will just take it, this video is for people that are interested in hearing about you, hearing about me, we're talking about things candidly. I think there's some people that would go, this video's not done very well, what am I going to do now?
Well,
I think the social media side is putting pressure on people for not the right reason.
Yeah. Well, like you say, social media for me is obviously, when I see different people use a different product, it might make me think, okay, we can try that. Maybe that will help in my day to day. But obviously, social media works in the ways as well that's kind of put us in touch.
Yeah.
Which is,
we'd have never have met.
No,
we'd have never
you'd have
met.
hated me.
Yeah. It's like,
kiss and a cuddle.
We used to speed date it. Well, I used to speed. I'm not used to do it. I've been to speed dating, but it is that there's a new way of doing things, and we don't have yellow pages anymore. No. The speed dating thing, this internet dating. Unless we'd have met at a trade show and actually conversed there, I wouldn't have come across you. It's social media, as in Facebook and things like that has brought us together.
Yes, and romantically. That's ruined that one again, isn't it?
Lower the tone all the time. Lower the tone. Have we covered that one all right?
I reckon so.
I think we're all right. Right. Okay. So just picking up on that, what is the question that we're just going to finish off on with that one? It says, how social media helped you or not helped you? I mean, we said about meeting people.
It has helped me in the sense of networking and learning and being able to meet people like Paula, and obviously get opportunities. It's given me opportunities to do. I've done that Dulux advert.
Yeah.
Snippet of it.
Did you get paid for that?
I can.
Oh right. You kept that one quiet. Right. All right. Yeah. But it does. It opens up doors.
Yes, broadens your horizon.
Even better.
It's nice. It's also nice for people to see your work, you know, that might not be able to see it,
Yeah.
and to have it appreciated by another decorator, I think is the biggest compliment.
Yeah.
You know, if another decorator says, well, I like that, almost kind of helps with a little bit of imposter syndrome, maybe.
But we don't like negativity.
No, we love
No, we don't like
love positivity.
Right. We'll move on from that, because I could go on about something I don't, because this isn't all about me, it's about Ian today. Lastly, this has been brought to me by David Walcott. He's down in Leicester, he's another decorator, somebody through really social media I've made contact with. I'm available for people to ask me questions. I'm here to help. I've said that times many. David's one that is actually quite local to me. I told him that you were coming today, and he said, ask Ian. And the question that David has asked me to ask you is, decorating or decorators still charging £100? Oh, start again. So the question that David's asked me to ask Ian, and I've got the question down written by my PA, decorators still charging £120 a day. Are they hurting the trade? How do we help them to see the real value and stop underselling what...
I've got you. I know what you mean.
Hold on a minute.
I know what you mean.
You know where I'm coming from. And stop underselling just to stay busy.
I think it's damaging. I do think it's damaging, because we are, you know, we could go work in a shop for that money, whereas we've actually learned the skills, whether it been in college, whether it been in an apprenticeship like myself. You know, you've suffered for that, you know, for them years to be able to earn and put food on the table for your family. But if you're charging cheaper rates, not saying that everybody that charges cheaper rates is on benefits or whatever, but some people can do that,
yeah,
and afford to earn £120 a day. I couldn't do that.
And it feels a fortune to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that. But obviously they need to know their worth, because we are worth more than what we think.
And we've said again, you really should be charging for the job done and not the time taken, and stop selling yourself stop selling time. I think that's what we've got to get a head round. We don't want to be selling the time that we're going to be on. We've got to sell ourselves and actually charge for the outcome of what we've actually done, and not gone, well, that's only taken you a day. Yeah, but are you happy with what's been done? Have we left it clean? Have we left it tidy? Is the end result what you wanted? Is the end result what you wanted to pay?
Yeah.
For what we originally quoted for? And there's a big difference between quotes and estimates. Just quickly, quotes are a fixed price. An estimate could go up or down, and people that say, yeah, but the quote that we've done for the job might alter. Do you know what? That's when it becomes an extra, because what you've quoted for is what you're going to be doing. If something else comes up, that is not going to be in with that price.
Good advice, yes.
It is,
and good advice.
People don't understand it, and I'm going to be saying, we're decorators, we're in the trade. We didn't do fantastic at school. We'd probably say we're not businessmen. We've got the hard learning curve, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't know the basics of the difference between a quote and an estimate, and actually going for the easier option of, well, I'll just charge him per day to do the job, and then that's it.
Some people don't like that though, because they
don't know how much
they don't know how much they're paying. There's no end.
No.
You know, and obviously myself, and I'm not saying I'm the best decorator in the world, but I want to do the best job I can do for that money. Yeah. And obviously if someone's charging £120 a day, what are they doing, 4 hours a day? Going to the pub? Yeah. No offence.
No offence. Not.
But like you say, get your money up, you deserve better.
On that note, I think we've covered it. I hope that answers your question, David. I'm just going to go to my next page, which is nearly, and I'm going to read it as it's been wrote by my peer. Brilliant stuff, Ian. Thanks for joining me on the sofa. No cuddles this time, but plenty of laughs and some proper knowledge dropped.
Ha ha ha.
Yeah. If you enjoyed this chat, hit like, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. And if you're in Telford, you know who to call. That will be ATD Painting and Decorating. catch you on the next one. That's my end bit, but what I'm going to do with Ian now, I'm going to take him to my secret location where my YouTube studio is. So we'll probably just have a quick drink, get his shoes on, and we'll have a quick whiz round to the YouTube studio. I'll show you around there. I'll show you a few things, give some comment, and that'll be the outro really to this section of video. And I will say, while we're on the sofa, thank you very much, Ian. Joking apart, it's been a pleasure having you. Thank you very much for having the 2-hour drive this morning to me. You've got a 2-hour drive back later on, but no, it's much appreciated. Anybody else that would like to come onto the sofa with me, don't all rush at once, but as and when.
We'll make sure it's cleaned.
Thankfully, we're not in any overalls. But no, right, we're going to call it a day on this wrap of that, and we're going to blend out from this into that, and I'll see you in a few minutes.
And then an advert, yeah.
Hopefully. Right, we're over. We've had a bit of. We've had a drink, and we've moved over to the YouTube studio. You can see where we are. You've seen this place before. Ian's just going to have a look round. We've got some sample boards. You can see Dave and Doris here. Ian's just probably going to ask a few questions and have a look round. And this is the outro to the actual interview where we've been on the sofa for a kiss and a cuddle. So this is just a little bit of an in-between. If you're interested, you're going to watch it. If not, please just stay till the end and watch the videos at the end. And I will say again, those that are giving me super thanks, thank you very much. Those that are buying me a coffee, it is much appreciated. I can't explain enough how much that little bit of money that people are sending me helps, particularly with the new software that I'm using for my video editing and bits and pieces. Hopefully, I'd like to try and change the camera. I'm not doing a gift aid thing or anything like that, but in time I will need to change this camera, which is very good. It's stood the test of time, but I might want to just jump up to the next level. So if anybody does help me to support the channel, it will go for things like that that will help improve and make the video content better. I'm going to say all the gear, no idea, quite clearly, like when it comes to painting. But welcome in, you're back again. We're in the YouTube studio. What do you think of this humble abode? And it's gone.
It's heaven. It's like it's a proper man cave. There's everything you need here. You could paint probably 6 or 7 houses fully.
There's a lot of paint on the side. If you span around there, we've got a lot of sample paints that I've got from either our workshop for Beckwith Decorators or these bits and pieces that have been actually sent to me down on this side as well. But I did think Ian said under his breath that he thought all my YouTube studio videos were AI.
No, it's
clearly not. We are the real deal. We've got stuff in here that we've got future videos on the way. You've probably seen some reels on YouTube. We've got the InSlicks Max. Did you pronounce it InSlicks? InSlicks. It's Benjamin Moore stuff. We've got the Max Blocker. We've got the sticks, and we've got the peel bonding primer. Oh, can't see it. Peel bonding primer is just there. So these are future videos coming through where I'll be trying out, and obviously Ian's in it, so he's just having a look around. He might ask some questions. So fire away. Just tell me what you think.
Oh, I like Doris the door, and I'm very intrigued by what you've used on the top of the door to give it that shine.
I can't believe you've not watched that video. This is a video from a while back where we're using Mylands. I've got Mylands down here. We've got a Mylands varnish that went on there. You can clearly see on the video, I can see it. That's a satin finish. We use the Mylands water-based gloss, which is there.
That's water-based?
That's water-based. And then around the outside. Who sang that? Who sang that?
Eminem.
No, he didn't.
Round the outside. Guess who's back?
He was married. No. Originally.
Right. Jesus, there's a generation clash here.
Oh, dear me. He was married to, it was the clothes designer. McLean. Right, I'm going to say, because my mind's gone, give us some comments below who sang Round the Outside.
I'm saying Eminem.
Originally, back in the 80s. And who was he married to? Who's recently died? Yeah, she was a clothes designer. Right, so that around the outside is actually the Mylands water-based gloss that you can actually go over your water-based finish to give it extra pop. Now I want you to say, because we've had some issues about brush marks, how do you find that as brush marky as a paint finish?
I don't see any issue with that at all. It's, you know, when you're doing a door, you want to see the grain, don't you?
Yeah.
You want to see that it's...
And Doris is actually a grain door that we're nearly losing, but we are not looking like we've got it applied by a broom. It's flowed out nicely. Mylands does... yeah. I've just rubbed my hand on it. I've cut my fingers. But it is smooth. It does flow out. If you were here with me and Ian and myself, you'd see that is actually very acceptable.
Smooth, yeah.
And we are actually talking water-based paints. We are not talking about oil-based paints. We are talking water-based.
I'm surprised that you can get a sheen like that
Where's
with...
bike pumps?
We've just been disturbed. It's in the back of the car.
Which car?
Mine.
Where's car keys?
It's in the Mercedes.
Funny.
Where are you going?
I don't need to disclose that information with you.
Oh.
We've just been rudely interrupted by my 12-year-old, so that was a cutout and we've faded back in. As I say, this is water-based paint on Doris the door, and for an acceptable paint finish that is high gloss, that has been done a number of weeks, I think I would say
There's nothing wrong with that finish
nothing wrong
at
with
all. It's plenty of sheen on it for you.
And that finish as well, with these being the Mylands paints and the plant-based stuff, they can be used as a finish over kitchen units. If you've been painting with a Mylands paint system, you can actually have that as a harder wearing finish over the top as well.
It's solid, isn't it? It is solid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like to scratch everything.
Scratch everything else. We've got some sample things down here. Ian's been having a fiddle with. Quite impressed with the sample boards that I've done over the last year or so. Again, he's had his fingers all over it and scratching it, and impressed with some of those.
I'm hissing at it now, I'm hissing.
I've got a door here that is actually a video that you might not have seen yet. It's not out, it's been edited and it has been pending on my channel for a while. That is the Jono's Aqua Guard Gloss, where if you've not seen the video because it's not out yet, or if you are, I was applying it by a roller and seeing what it was like as a roller finish. It is a little bit orange peely.
Is it a hybrid or is it full water base?
I'm a bit in between on that. I don't know whether the new one's more... Got it down there. I don't know whether the new one is a bit more hybrid or water based. I know they did change it from when I first originally did a video that I called it the brush killer. It's still not fantastic, but you do wash your brushes out a bit better than they used to be. Well, so that's that, and I don't know whether I've got anything on the old back of the door. This is something from a few weeks ago, a recent video that might have been out not long ago. We were talking about opacity. If you can see this in, it's good to have somebody in to look at what I was doing. That was the colour we went over. That was my undercoat. That's the first, second and third. And can you agree we're not getting full opacity coverage when you start looking close up?
No.
To the untrained eye, you'd probably go, that's fine. But actually looking at it,
a little bit grinny, isn't it? A little bit.
Grin is the word. But you should really be covering for two, and it's not. So do you agree with that?
I agree. Yeah.
Good, good. So that's that. We've got Doris and Dave, and I don't want to say it. Doris will be retired soon because I'm ready for a new door. We are losing the wood grain finish on that. So anyway, right, if you just want to have a quick look around here, you can do.
It's very sad that Doris is going. Hopefully somebody will take her off your hands.
Fit it on their front lounge or something like that. That's my spare duster brush. I've got a video coming up that I've got stuff laid out. I've got to make it. We're going to be talking about the main basic tools of painting and decorating that you're going to need if you want to get into painting and decorating. I've got some tools down here. It will be a future video, and I will be touching base back to basics, if that makes sense.
That's your day rate board. So whenever you're papering on a day rate,
Miss straight edge.
Yeah, we just do that with a straight. Blown away by how cool it is in here. This is.
It is.
I definitely need this organisation in mind. It's not there.
Far from organised.
Here's your car and Hobbit House.
Thank you.
Load up my tyres.
On what?
My scooter.
Give him one of them, will you? Just give him.
Just smacking. We've got some more stuff down here that I've not had a chance to trial out. I've said to you, Coral were very kind to me, which are another company of the Maverick brushes. They sent me a few goodies out recently to try out. Ian can hold that. And I've also, which Ian might be really shocked to see, I've got, I've not had these out to try. Maverick do a special roller system that is a clip in and clip out. If you can see that there is 2 clips that you just put on the end, push together, and you release your roller. So have you seen that before?
And then you can put it straight in one of those all-way bags.
And then save it. Yeah. But there's the clip system. I've got the rollers, and it just makes it a lot easier for either saving, again with the always bags, which is a good thing to mention, but you just clip on and off your roller sleeve. So if you want to get the roller sleeve out, have we got a 9-inch? Am I allowed to have you holding Coral?
Against my will, yes.
Because you are an ambassador for...
Worthy of Arrow.
So what you do is you slip that onto there, get it in, and then that goes there. Once you've finished, you unclip it, take that off, wash it out, and then you can push that back off. So it's not a bad system. It's quite good.
It's quick.
Quick and easy. Right, put that away. Thank you, Ian, my assistant.
Thank you, sir. Ooh. A box of goodies.
That's good. There you go. Anything else?
Nope. That's brilliant.
I'm going to say there's some videos coming up at the end. Thank you very much, Ian, for coming to join me today. We've had a fun packed day. If we're on a day rate, he'd be charging me £400 for being here from 8 o'clock this morning till nearly 4 o'clock, but we're not on day rate. Nobody makes any money on day rate.
I was going to drop you an invoice. You said that.
Well, let's talk about cash in hand, weren't we? On that note,
there's no taxman on this.
on that note, please watch the videos at the end. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.
Like and share. Thanks again.